Hi everyone, this is Lina is not a noob with a new nerdy rant on the new characters we'll be seeing in The Winter Soldier. Warning! If you have not read the comics or do not want the upcoming characters for The Winter Soldier spoiled, do not watch this video. It will also contain spoilers to Captain America the First Avenger and the Avengers, as well as some of the comic and cartoon storylines.
So, I've been planning this video since I first saw the first Winter Soldier trailer, and I have to say the trailers all look amazing. I am so excited for this one, and I already have my tickets. Anyway, today I'm going to be discussing confirmed and possible new characters in Winter Soldier. First, the villains. As you may remember from one of my previous videos, Lina's Nerdy Rants, The Infinity Gems, it appears that the Red Skull survived the unconfrontation in Captain America the First Avenger, and there's been a lot of speculation surrounding whether he will appear in TWS or not. Another important thing to remember is that, according to the comics, there's more than one Red Skull. So, even if the original died, there's a possibility of him appearing again anyway. The current popular theory is that this guy, Alexander Pierce, played by Robert Redford, will turn out to be the Red Skull in disguise. And even if he's not, we still have official confirmation that he's a villain. Crossbones is a villain henchman who is usually seen working with Red Skull. How do we know he's going to be in the movie? Well, see this guy. This is a character called Brock Rumlow. Crossbones is his alter ego. Also, take note of that cross motif. This particular theory also comes from the fact that Crossbones is best known in the comics for carrying out the assassination of one of the Avengers. Seeing as this movie is supposed to directly tie into Avengers 2, this could be setting up the Avengers dying plotline that's been hinted at. Don't worry though, in comics no one dies permanently. But not until after someone else takes over that role temporarily. Someone else who happens to be appearing in this movie. This character is not usually associated with Red Skull or Crossbones, and the current footage out seems to imply that they are, at least for a while, on opposing sides. This character is Georges Batroc, or Batroc the Leaper, who, unlike Crossbones, doesn't have many important plot points associated with him. So it's not likely he'll have a major plot line in another movie. Like Crossbones, he has no special powers. In other words, he's a normal human who's really good at what he does. And finally, we have my personal favourite of the new villains, the Winter Soldier. While this is a fairly new spoiler, those of you who've seen the post-2005 comics or the TV series or were unfortunate enough to try googling the name will probably know who Winter Soldier is. For those of you who don't know, you've seen this character before, but you knew him by a different name. Remember Bucky from the first movie, the guy who fell from the train and supposedly died? It turns out that he survived. Members of the Soviet Union found him, and in the hopes that he was a super soldier, revived him and gave him the metal arm. In the comics, he lost his arm due to the explosion that supposedly killed him. However, as that explosion is absent in the movies, it's unclear what the explanation will be. In the comics, he is influenced by brainwashing and repents later on. Personally, my money is on something similar happening in this movie. Now, we've seen most of these heroes before. Captain America, Nick Fury, Black Widow. But wait, who's this? This is Falcon, who becomes a sidekick to Captain America. He has a suit that allows him to fly in both the movies and the comics. But in the comics, well, it looked like this. In the comics, he also has the ability to communicate through a mental link with his Falcon Redwing, and can communicate with and see through the eyes of other birds as well. And lastly, we have Sharon Carter, the other new hero to the movies. Do you recognise that last name? I'll give you a hint. Her aunt's name is Peggy. This is another character who had an albeit unwilling hand in the death of one of the Avengers in the comics. They really aren't being overly subtle with that. If it is indeed a future plot, that is, of course. She's a S.H.I.E.L.D. member and is also known as Agent 13. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of new characters in WS. If you would like me to do a discussion on any more plot points from Captain America, Marvel or any other fandoms, leave a comment below and I will do my best. My next video will hopefully be up soon and deal with the theory I briefly mentioned in this video, so keep an eye out for that in the next week or so.